While some spots seem like they'll never change, others are transforming so fast it's impossible to keep up. In Brooklyn, rapid gentrification has turned working-class enclaves into real estate hotspots so quickly that long-term residents and business owners are wondering where they fit in. Fortunately, not everyone is going down without a fight. In Crown Heights, Franklin Abreu and his family have been serving up Dominican staples for almost 30 years. But when damage from a fire threatened to kill their business, they look to their roots to make sure their restaurant will remain on the scene for years to come.
Your parents are from Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
What's the name of the town?
Jarabacoa.
Jarabacoa.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
They came about, I would say, 35 years ago.
Like dove headfirst into the restaurant business.
They worked in some factories. My father just started working in the restaurant. I remember he was telling me a story. He was like a bus boy. Then he started progressing and then ended up owning a restaurant.
And now when he looks at it here, like on the other side of that transformation, like how do you think he feels about it?
He's grateful for it, but now that he sees it, he's like stunned by it.
So how did the vision for Puerto Viejo as it is today, like how did that come about?
It was talked about before the renovation, but what helped us out in the change was there was a fire in the building upstairs.
Was like the blessing in that tragedy sort of apparent to you guys in the moment, or is it something that like you just appreciate now looking back at it?
I didn't see it for what it is now. Like, you didn't understand what was going on. You was just in it.
How about the way everything looks inside of here?
Yeah, a lot of it is recycled wood. The ceiling and the walls, a lot of it was here already, but it was just hidden. But like I said, with the fire, all this was discovered. So this was like a treasure for us to find, and it just went perfect for our concept.
What was what you had brought out before?
Tostones rellenos, that's green plantains, like pressed into a bowl, and then you scoop it up.
Okay, but that's not something that we're gonna find at like the typical regular neighborhood.
Yeah,
Dominican
it's not like something traditional in the Dominican Republic, but it is certain traditional ingredients, but then with a twist. So
Right.
You're creating a whole other experience and you're presenting it in a different way. And that's an art in itself.
That's what's helped us out, like using the authentic ingredients and just coming up with a new face for it, but it's still the same food.
It just makes sense when you come in here, like this restaurant still exists as a part of the neighborhood that's outside. I think the mistake a lot of people seem to be making when they're coming to new places that really alienates the history is to like come in and create an experience inside of a place that doesn't have anything to do with what's going on outside of the place.
Being natives of the city and also growing up in the LES, you guys must have a good perspective too.
Yeah, that has helped us out, like being raised in the Lower East Side and seeing, and actually noticing the change over there, so you could actually anticipate what was going on here and have more knowledge of how to incorporate both fields, the old and the new.
You guys are part of what's driving more people to come here. It must be pretty cool to know that like not only is your family a part of the history of this neighborhood, but it's also a part of the positive reason for the change and development in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a great feeling to be contributing to like what's going on now.
It's just awesome to see a family who's able to take something that they already had and use it to adapt to like a new scenario.
It's also an important example and a valuable story that other local people that grew up here need to hear about.
So another thing that's really cool about this whole situation is just the fact that like a younger generation is able to come in with a new vision and maybe with some hesitation, but nonetheless have it be embraced by the older generation.
What you said about working with the old and the new that's the whole point. That's creativity right there. Everything that you create comes from a conditioning from the past. So you develop from that, and that's how you create something fresh.
It's impossible to live in New York and not notice the contrast between the old and the new.
For some, the old New York City represents a bygone era.
But for others, it's a living, breathing source of inspiration. Change is inevitable.
But change with no regard for our past disconnects us from the people, places, and moments that helped make this city great.
We're learning that sometimes the best way to imagine our future is to explore how deeply we're all connected to the past.
As the journey continues, we'll see you next time on In Search of Greater Goods.
Word.